What's your lid? Just double click. It's the Big Daddy G Show. Daddy G Show. Daddy G Show. Now type it in, take it in. Where do I begin? He's really funny and he's not really thin. It's the Big Daddy G Show. G Show. Big Daddy G Show. G Show. He's a funny guy, I'm not gonna lie. He once made me laugh out both my eyes. It's the Big Daddy G Show, G Show. It's the Daddy G Show, G Show. Yeah, now let's go. Now boy, what you know? Man, he made me laugh so hard I hit the floor. It's the Big Daddy G Show, G Show. It's the Daddy G Show, G Show. It's the Big Daddy G Show. Yeah, it's the Big Daddy G Show. Yeah, now what you know? It's the Big Daddy G Show. It's the Big Daddy G Show. It's the Big Daddy G Show. He make you laugh so hard you hit the floor. What it is, it's the Big Daddy G Show.
Hold on. Are we on?
You're on.
I wish somebody would tell me. Hello, how are you? Welcome, where am I? To the Big Daddy G Show. Am I here or am I there or where am I? Okay, well, I don't know where I'm at, so here I am. All right, so hi, I'm the Big Daddy G, and welcome to the show. We have a really, really cool show for you today. It's a very, hopefully, for some of you, it'll be very informative and very educational. Which is what we're shooting for. We're shooting to have a good time and educate you guys in stuff that you might know and stuff that you might not know. Today is like the 14,000th day of over 100-degree weather in the state of Texas. So please, people, drink plenty of water. And make sure that your pets have plenty of water to drink, because just like you need water, they need water. So please, your cats, your dogs, dude, if it's too hot outside for you, it's probably too hot outside for them. If you have cows, bring them in. Bring them in. If you have horses, bring them in the house. So don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. You know, anything that they break can be replaced. So don't sweat it. Let's see, there is an organization in town here in Austin that gives away free box fans. So if you are needing a box fan, please Google free box fans Austin, Texas, and it'll give you all the information that you need to know so that you can have a box fan and stay cool. I know that sounds kind of funny, but it's not really funny when it's 112 degrees outside, and there are people out there that don't have air conditioning. Thank God that the city of Austin does not turn off people's power. They're not supposed to anyway, and if they do, they should go to jail, a jail with no air conditioning.
Which exists.
That they should go ahead and I'm sorry, you threw me off my train of thought there. So anyway, so if you need a box fan, please get a hold of this organization here in Austin, Texas, and they will help you. Another thing that I wanted to bring up, and it doesn't really have, it doesn't affect a whole lot of people, just, the human population. There's a product called R13A, which is Freon, and it goes inside your air conditioner, and it's what gets cold and it cools the coils, because you have these little coils in your car like this, and the air flows through these coils, and it cools the air. These coils are cold, and that air goes towards you, and then you get cool. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because R13A normally sells for about $3.50 to $4.50 a can, a 12-ounce can. Well, right now, there are some companies, I won't mention any names, like O'Reilly's, that are charging $20 for a 12-ounce can of R13A. Walmart is the cheapest I could find, and they're charging about $9 for a can. That's still too much. I think somebody at the Attorney General's office should look into that because I believe that's called price gouging, which is illegal. So please, folks, you know, I know that the people from Walmart have got, I don't know, probably 15 or 20 yachts. You know, give us a break, you know, give us a break. You don't need 16 yachts, you know, 15 is enough. So please, so anyway, that's about all I have to say, other than, you know, please take care of your pets, give them plenty of water. You know, this is the time of the year that other animals out in the woods are hunting because there's not enough food. And so please make sure you bring your animals inside at night, especially if they're, you know, little dogs or cats. And if you live out in the country, then it gets even worse. So please take care of your pets just like you would take care of your husband. Well, no, forget that. Some of y'all don't take care of your husbands very well. So take care of your pets better than you do your husband. How's that? So, so that's it. Today we have somebody named Quincy that'll be on with us in just a little bit. And she is going to, they are going to educate you on some things that I'm confused about. And if I'm confused about it, then the odds are you're confused about it. And we're here to try to end that confusion. So Tyrone's telling me that we have a little commercial to go to, and we'll be right back. Well, I'll let you tell the kids that in just a second. So kids, we're back, I guess. Ta-da! Yes, we're back. So kids, today is going to be a really educational show, and I don't want to say anything anything wrong or say it wrong, and I don't want anybody out there to send us hate mail if I say something stupid, because I do that all the time. I don't mean to, it just comes out that way. So I'm really dedicating this show to try to educate me, and at the same time try to educate you. Because if, as I was telling Quincy earlier, if we educate one person out of the almost 500,000 people that are watching right now, if we educate just one person, and that person educates 5 people they know, and those 5 people educate 5 people that they know, then we'll spread this information, and it'll all work out. So, without further ado, I like saying that word, ado. Without further ado, I will bring Quincy on the show. So please help me welcome Quincy Craig. Come on in, Quincy. Dun, dun, dun. Nice to meet you. Please have a seat.
Thanks for having me, G.
No worries. Let me give you guys a little bit background from what I know about Quincy. Quincy is part of our crew and comes and helps to educate people and comes and helps to set up lights and cameras and sound and everything and anything that having to do with this show.
If the lighting has seemed more bisexual recently, that's me.
That's her. I mean, them. So the lights, if you'll notice, are all sorts of different colors today, which is really cool. I like a colorful stage. So Quincy, why are you here today, and why are you here? What are you here to discuss?
Well, I am a grassroots activist in Austin for queer and trans rights, and given the last legislative session we've had, not just in Texas but nationally, that's what I've been doing.
Okay.
And as you literally just heard, not even 30 seconds ago, we still have issues with pronouns and things. For people who don't know me, hi, people who know me.
There you go.
I am non-binary. I use they, them pronouns, as you can very clearly see on this, on my lovely little vest I made here. And I am trans. And when I first came onto set, G was there and G was here, and I was like, by the way, just so you know, I am non-binary and I use they, them pronouns. And he was like, oh, well, I don't really know how that might work and everything. So we just talked for a while, and he was like, hey, you want to just come on the show and tell me and the people about it? And I'm like, sure. Because really what a lot of people don't really understand about trans rights and trans people is just the fact that we're people and not, crazy monsters. Like, I know I'm dressed like reject Dr. Frankenfurter meets Eddie Meatloaf from freaking Rocky Horror Picture Show at the moment. But this is part of the culture. If I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be representing. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you have to be yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the whole point of being trans, right? It's living your truth the way you want it to mean, It's just...
Right.
Yeah.
I actually was telling somebody the other day something along those lines. I said, I won't change who I am to please you. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be me. And hopefully you will still be my friend. And if not, then good luck to you. I don't, but I can't be your friend if I can't be myself.
Exactly.
So.
Add some language about gender and stuff in there, and that's and you basically got how 90% of trans people feel about their lives. By the way, I should say just so people don't get mad at G and the rest of us here. Hi, I am one single trans and non-binary person in the millions and millions of us that exist all around the world. So I can only really speak to my own experiences and that of the ones that have been shared to me by my friends. I cannot speak for the entire trans community, and I cannot speak for the entire non-binary community. I am here to talk about me and the basics and answer some, from what G's told me, basic questions about hey, how does this certain language work? Cool. So bear that in mind as we go forward.
There you go. So, well, let's start. What I'd like to do when we have one guest on the show is I'd like to find out more about your background, where you were born and stuff like that, because the kids are going to want to know,
yeah, sure.
about who you are.
Of course.
So,
yeah.
all right. So, where were you born?
Here in Austin.
Oh, nice, dude. Nice.
I'm born in Austin, raised in the burbs of Round Rock.
Nice. Oh, man.
Yeah. A little isolating, but
Yeah.
it's a life.
I love Round Rock, man. And a lot of really, really nice people in Round Rock.
Oh yeah.
I have a lot of friends that still live in Round Rock, and they've been there for 100 years, Yeah. In fact, I met the guy who owned most of Round Rock before it got bought out by
really?
Walmart and all those. Yeah.
And Dell and all them people.
Yeah, exactly. And very, very wealthy man he is. If he's still alive, I don't know if he's still alive or not, but very, very nice guy when I met him. So, okay, so you were born in Austin, and you've lived here your whole life.
Yep, pretty much. I've never
Okay.
left for more than maybe a week and a half at a time.
Okay, and where have you gone, travel-wise? Where have you gone?
Went to Puerto Rico when I was 3, and I barely remember it.
Okay.
Let's see. I periodically go to Colorado to visit my dad's side of the family.
Nice.
As far as he's told me, I am basically related to half of North Denver, just because his mom's side of the family is all immigrants from Italy. So I've got that going on. And on my mom's side of the family, it's all San Antonio, so we go up there sometimes, and she's also got a whole lot of roots in the Texan German side of things, and New Braunfels and things.
Nice.
So
nice.
there you go.
Whereabouts in Colorado do you go?
Oh, Denver.
Oh,
like I said,
nice.
I'm related to half of North Denver, so when we go to Colorado, we always just Denver, and
Yeah.
that's about it.
Nice.
I think we went to Pueblo when I was a little kid one time. The mesas and everything out there. That was
Yeah.
really cool to see, but I was I want to say 12, so I don't really remember.
Well, Colorado is such a beautiful state.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whenever we end up going to Colorado, my favorite part is always just seeing the mountains on the horizon, because in Central Texas it's all just as
Yeah.
far as the eye can see.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a lot of flat land here in Texas,
Yeah, but then you go to New Mexico and Colorado and everything. You just see a whole bunch of mountains everywhere, and you get a lot lightheaded faster. That's just because I'm used to being at basically sea level around here.
Right, exactly.
But
And there's no humidity there in Colorado.
oh yeah, it's dry.
It's dry. But
Feels a lot drier. You walk outside right now, it's like you're getting slapped with a wet fish.
there you go. Exactly. So if you guys ever go to or want to go see some beautiful land, Colorado is another state in the United States that has got plenty to show you. But y'all make sure to come back, home. So
Y'all come back now, here.
because we need you here. So you grew up in the Round Rock area?
Yep.
Okay.
I think we went. I was mostly raised agnostic, but we went to Georgetown on the giant street of churches you see in Georgetown. You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Just the street of churches. We went to one of the Episcopal ones, and there you go.
Okay. So so tell me about your childhood. How do you have any brothers or sisters?
Oh yeah, I've got one
Okay.
little brother. Hi, Luther.
Hi, Luther. How old is Luther?
He's 17. He's going. I think he's going into his senior year of high school.
Cool.
Well, I don't think I know, but
And did you get along with him?
oh, isn't it, bro? He's my little brother. What do you
Right.
expect? So, ups and downs, but on the whole, we get along pretty well.
Okay.
We have very different tastes in books, though.
Okay. And how old? What's the age difference?
3.5 years. I'm 20. He's 17.
Okay. All right. And so you have different tastes in books because you like
Yeah.
to read.
Oh yeah. Our parents were adamant that we weren't getting phones until we were 13, so we usually just books the entire time. I liked my my fantasy series like Harry Potter, and we'll get to that. Harry Potter and Percy Jackson and the Warriors series. I know some of you in here are gonna sit here and be like, Warriors, what? Ah, so they're attacking me. Ah. But yeah, no, I read my my Magic Murder Cats book. Did that. I like a whole bunch of stuff like that. And then there's my brother who enjoys more like intellectually stimulating stuff like Artemis Fowl and
Nice.
Aragon. What's the series called? Inherent Cycle. That one.
Yeah.
And just basically anything written by Owen Colfer.
Okay. Okay. So basically, you had a little brother, or you have a little brother, and y'all fought, like brother and sisters fight from time
fight
to time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess, but it's not. As far as I remember it, I don't know if he remembers it different, but we mostly these days we mostly just kind of stay out of each other's way and help each other out when we need it.
Right.
Siblings.
What kind of stuff would you fight about?
Books.
Do you remember books?
Whether who's taking stuff out the dishwasher? Like normal stuff.
Just normal kids.
Normal kid stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
It's.
And you were raised by mom and dad? Mm-hmm. Okay, so are they still married?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I'm one of the very few people among my friends who can say that about my parents. Yeah. But no, my parents are very, very good people. Hi.
Mom and dad, what are their names?
Chuck and Lorraine.
Hi, Chuck and Lorraine.
Hello. In fact, the entire reason I'm here is because Ollie, one of your producers, is my mom's friend from college, and I'm going for my film degree at ACC, and I was helping out at the 48-hour film project, and she was like, "Hey, you could get some film experience with this show," and I was like, sick.
Nice.
And here we are today.
Nice. Well, we love Ollie, but she's not here today.
Hi, Ollie.
So
love you.
No margarita for you, young lady. No margarita for you. So
I can't say anything about that because I'm on medication.
Oh well, yeah. Well, you don't. Yeah. Well, you're 20 anyway. When you're 21, then it's legal for you to drink in the state of Texas. Now you can kill for them at 18.
Well, yeah. But also I'm on antidepressants right now, so.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to keep talking about my childhood, let's just say it wasn't all too terribly great. Not because of my family, but because of the education system and everything. And,
okay.
Oh, by the way, did I mention that I was that even though I didn't come out until I was 17, I was still a trans kid, and that just filtered through everything else. So yeah.
Okay. Did you have any relatives that lived with you when you were growing up?
No, not really. In high school, our roommate, one of my mom's other college friends, someone named Jen, came and lived with us. Hi, Jen, if you're still at my parents' place right now.
Hi, Jen. You owe me a margarita. I don't know who you are, but you owe me a margarita.
I don't know if she drinks either.
Oh,
but,
I'll drink for both of us. Don't worry about it.
But no, she came to live with us my sophomore year of high school, I believe, and just because rent prices are horrifying
crazy,
these days.
Yeah,
so
Austin,
she came and lived with us, and she's moving out to San Antonio at this point. But my friend Maggie, hi Maggie, if you're here, is now moving in with us. So that's really cool. Cool. At least.
And is Jen transgender or gay?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry if this still offends people, but she and my parents were in the Cepheid variable thing when they were in college at A&M, the Science Fiction and Fantasy Club, and she specifically still refers to herself as one of the fag hags. Basically, just people who straight people who hang around with the gays and everything.
Yeah.
But this was in the 90s, so that kind of thing was still mostly okay to say.
And do you have any relatives, uncles, aunts that are gay or transgender?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
I'm just. I have relatives that I know are supportive, or at least would be supportive. I'm not out to my entire family yet because it's complicated.
Yeah.
But it's.
Well, you are now.
That is if they watch this. Some of y'all people can't even operate the freaking remote on Thanksgiving Day. So I don't expect a whole lot from it. But if I'm here, if you're here, hi, I'm this. I was gonna tell you, but I guess okay. I have anxiety, in case you couldn't notice.
You have an awesome relative. So.
Well, thanks, Gene. That means a lot. Thank you.
No worries, man.
But yeah.
Let's see. Tell me a little bit about your mom. And what's her name again?
Lorraine.
Hi, Lorraine. One more time. You owe me a margarita. Everybody owes me a margarita, especially Ollie.
No. Well, my mom.
It's okay. Just
my mom's been a huge part of my life. I love her. I love her to bits. Of course, we butt heads all the time, but
that's part of the deal.
Both she and my dad are extremely stubborn. So, of course, both of my brother and I were going to end up being super stubborn to begin with. So, we butt heads on a lot of things. Me coming out, honestly, was one of them. But we've been working through it, these sort of things, when it comes to coming out, you understand that for some people, we understand that it's just going to take time, because suddenly you're having to think about gender and sexuality and whatever in a completely different way from the rigid binary that society has put up for us. And then when the minute someone falls outside of it, or just doesn't just fall outside of it, or explicitly rejects that binary and says, "Hey, you thought you could? I was only this, but actually he."
Yeah.
And here you go. It can be a little jarring, and most of us really do understand that. And it's just kind of we understand that it takes time, but at the same time, a lot of us don't have that time to wait around. Thankfully, I do, and of course, there are also those parents who don't give themselves that time and just shut out their kid completely, which is horrific. But it happens.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah,
I feel for anybody that has to be raised by parents that are so closed-minded. That's really sad.
Yeah,
that people have to go through that, especially as kids, because it's really hard, on kids to go through this. Kids need a parent that's going to accept them no matter how they are, who they want to date, how they want to dress, what they want to drive. Because a lot of people don't know this, but it has been proven that in over 400 different beings, there are same-sex relationships. So it's not.
And yet homophobia only exists in one.
Yeah. So think about that. I mean, I know that there's some people out there that are just thinking about that. Now do you get it? That people are people, and people deserve to be happy. We have, right now in Texas, we have I'm not a big fan of our governor.
Show of hands in the audience. There's nobody else in here. It's just the three of us today.
Yeah.
But who here actually likes Greg Abbott?
Yeah.
Nobody? Good. Let's move on.
Yeah, not a big fan of Greg Abbott. He doesn't like immigrants, but the last time
I'm actually going to a protest for that on Friday.
Oh, cool. I just recently saw a picture of Greg Abbott, and he doesn't look Native American, so I guess that would make him an immigrant.
Yeah, funny thing about that, isn't it?
Yeah. So
It's a real chin scratcher.
yeah,
let
real
me scratch my non-existent beard over here.
That's funny. All right. So, and where's Mom from?
Like I said, San Antonio.
San Antonio. Okay.
She tells stories about her upbringing constantly. In fact, that's kind of where I get my proclivity for telling stories and all sorts of things like that. In fact, that's kind of where I get my art idea from.
Nice.
I'm a horror artist actually. When I'm not bagging people's tools and things at my day job.
Where do you work?
Uh,
You don't have to tell us the address, but just like what company?
Lowe's.
Lowe's. Okay.
I know I'm dressed like this and I'm working at Lowe's. Hi.
Well, I like
hey,
Lowe's.
if you're at Lowe's, please don't fire me for looking like this.
I like Lowe's. They have really good prices and they're really good people. I'm not.
Oh yeah,
you know,
the people I work for are fine. It's
Yeah.
just
And
I can't live off $14.50 an hour.
Well,
But that's not what we're here to talk about, is it?
no, but then that's what I was saying is how many yachts do you need? How many people?
Personally, I would say you don't really need any, but
Yeah.
that's just because that's kind of because of this part over here. But
Yeah.
what do I know?
So let's see. What about Dad? Tell me a little bit about Dad.
My dad's pretty awesome too. Both my parents are complete nerds. Obviously, they were in the science fiction and fantasy club when they were in college, and that's how they met. Like,
Nice.
it was going to happen anyways. He instilled in me very young my love of video games, and he's the resident person who knows about technology since he's been working in IT since IT has basically been a thing since the 90s.
Yeah.
So it's
And what's his name?
Chuck.
Chuck. Hey, Chuck, you owe me a margarita. There you go. And what does he do? What does his dad do?
Like I said, he's an IT guy.
Oh, so he works for like a corporation here in town, or what? Or does he
I told
work
you
for
we live in
himself?
Round Rock. Where do you think?
Oh, for Dell?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's cool. I mean,
My dad.
I met
my
Michael
dad's
Dell.
my dad's really awesome. In fact, both my parents just got back from a massive trip to DC after I took a month after I took my big trip to DC with the Texas Poor People's Campaign. In fact, that's kind of where I get a lot of this, like, people should own a yacht, shit, blah 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 blah. I'm a like I said, I'm a grassroots activist. I try to go in through everything that matters. PBC folks, if you're still here, hi, love you guys. See you Friday.
So, what about his dad? Does he approve of you?
Oh
or
yeah,
does
he was actually a lot easier to come around to than my mom was. Mostly because he really likes watching a lot of video essays on YouTube.
Nice.
And a couple years ago, Philosophy Tube, a British woman called Abigail Thorne, came out as a trans woman.
Wow.
And this was right in the middle of me dealing with coming out and everything, like right before the pandemic hit and everything. Or maybe it was like in the middle of it, I don't know. But she made her big coming out video and shocked the world with, this trans people who know we are kind of already figured out from context clues, but it's kind of rude to assume that somebody's trans, so nobody said anything until she was like, oh, by the way, you were correct.
There you go.
But yeah, no, he actually came into my room after watching that video and literally like told me if even half of what she's saying is applicable to you, then I don't get it, but I will try to understand better.
There you go.
And I'm not sure I'm ever going to be able to put into words how much that meant to me.
Yeah.
Especially after like the night I came out was like a knockdown, drag out fight with my parents, and it was just kind of not great for everyone involed.
Yeah. Well, he sounds like a cool cat.
He really is.
He
He really
guy.
is. He's very chill, and he doesn't and he gets along with almost everybody. So.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. What does mom do? I forgot to ask you.
She's stay at home at this point.
So she's nuts now.
Well, no, because she's allergic to almost every nut known to man.
Well, no, I mean, stay-at-home moms usually go nuts. They just don't know that they're nuts because.
No, she knows, but we love her for it. Is the thing.
We love you.
But yeah, no. My family is very, very fortunate that my dad makes enough money that the four of us can be supported with only his job.
Wow, cool.
I'm obviously trying to break away and start my own freaking life, but society.
Yeah. Well, I'm adoptable, Dad. Just want to throw that in there. I'm adoptable.
Okay.
Like, give us your definition of transgender.
Right. So, I know it's super complicated. I promise. Trans people are people who identify as a different gender than they were assigned at birth. If you do identify with the gender that you were assigned at birth, you are cisgender, the same as, and then trans, different from. It's whatever. So if you get mad at people for calling you cis, they're literally just saying that you're the same. That's literally all they're saying. It's not like a weird thing, but.
So basically,
yeah, that's basically what it is.
So transgender means that if you were born a boy, but you don't feel like a boy, you're not comfortable being a boy.
With the label of boy,
with the label
or
of boy.
Any other reason under the sun, really. And to be very clear, nobody has to give a reason.
Yes.
Like, it really is. You just kind of are.
Yeah.
If I ask you, okay, you're a dude. How do you know you're a dude? Most people will just say, well, I just know, and there you go. That's it right there.
You just know. There you go. Well, that is an awesome way of explaining it.
No, it's not. That's not to say that trans people, especially non-binary folks like myself, don't have to do a whole bunch of introspection and self journey sort of stuff. I guess I don't know. For a lot of us, it really is like a self-discovery kind of thing. But
so then the definition of transgender is if you were born a male, you don't feel comfortable as a male, and in your brain, even though your body might not show it, your brain, if you're born a boy and you're transgender, your brain is telling you you're a girl. And if you're
basically
a girl and you're transgender and your body's telling you that you're a boy, then you're going to be happier, doing what your brain tells you. Because your
basically.
Your brain
or at least
is smart.
that's as far as binary trans folks go.
Yeah. So give me the definition of binary.
Right. So binary, between two things, right? So the gender. So when we talk about the gender binary,
so hold on a second. Right? So don't take for granted that people out there or me know, everything. So binary. Give me the definition for binary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's break it down into two things. Two between two.
Okay.
So when you're talking about a binary, you're talking about a system between two things, like a binary star system, or like anything that you separate, like a dichotomy between two things.
Okay.
Now, when we talk about the gender binary, what we talk about is man and woman, right? But once you start talking about trans people, what you want to start talking about is also gender outside or within the binary as different. So when I say a binary trans person, I'm talking about like someone who is ostensibly a man who transitioned into a woman, or ostensibly a woman who transitioned into a man. If female to male, male to female, it's pretty easy once you break it down like that.
Right.
But once you go to binary, you go to non-binary. That's not within that system. So like So that would be anything that like falls in between the two, like demi boys and demi girls, or something like that. What's really fascinating about gender is like you hear it said all the time, but it really is just a social construct. It is a we define man and woman as more of a pattern of behavior than really as anything tied to organs or anything, because sex and gender are two completely different things, which I'm sure everyone listening has heard hundreds of times over the last decade or so, but it's true. One does not have to have a penis in order to be a man. One does not have to have a vagina in order to be a woman. In fact, if you separate it between those two things, you're actually removing a lot of cis people from the equation. Like I offhandedly mentioned during the show last time with intersex folks. Sex isn't really binary there either. So there's all sorts of crazy things that happen within the human brain and within the human body that might make gender and sex and sexuality different. So.
Okay.
So to get back to the main answer for the question, non-binary is just any sort of gender that falls outside of man and woman. There you go.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your grandma and your grandpa. Let's start with your mom's side, grandma and grandpa.
My papa and nana and Grammy, that's a lot of divorce over there. They're pretty awesome. My grandpa is really into the like family history and everything. He during family gatherings, he'll always pull me aside and go like this is what your family did over this place. This is how this thing happened over here. Here's this trinket from your great grandmother that you never met and was ash by the time you were gone, or you were here. I meant whatever. You know what I meant. Nana is super, super sweet. I love her to bits.
And what's her name?
Karen.
Hi, Karen. You owe me a margarita. And what about Grandpa? What's his name?
Jim.
Hi, Jim. You owe me 2 margaritas.
No, he doesn't. He's not. He was a. I'm not going to go into it on TV or anything, but
I don't want to get
he
too
was
personal
an alcoholic for a long time, so
okay.
he does not drink at all.
Oh, okay. Well, you don't have to. I'll take care of that for you. And how do they feel about?
I have not come out to them yet. Well, I told you I'm not out to most of my extended family.
All right. Well, you are now, and I'm glad that we could help.
I'm not sure they're watching, honestly, but you know.
Well, our show is watched by people all over the world.
True.
So some might know them, might not know them, but eventually it'll get to them, and I'm glad, and I hope.
Well, if you are watching, grandparents of mine, know that this is me, and this is just a part of me growing up. So.
And finding yourself.
Yeah, that too. So. Yeah. I am still the same person that you have loved for 20 years, and I hope that doesn't really change. If that does, then bye.
Well, if they're as cool as you say they are, then they will accept you anyway. What about mom and dad?
Can we not go into that on TV, please?
That's fine. That's fine.
I love them to bits, but there's a lot of problems going on up there, not just with me, but with my family in general, and I'd really rather not go into that.
All right, we don't have to go into that. Let's see.
Same message from earlier applies, though.
At what age were you when you realized that you weren't comfortable?
13.
13?
I was in middle school, and I was reading the brand new series that Rick Riordan had just came out with. You know, I told you I like Percy Jackson. It was the Norse version of the series, Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. And one of the characters in the second book is a kid named Alex Fierro, who is a gender fluid person. That's someone which is also ended up being me. That is a type of non-binary person who basically gender floats from certain things. Like some days I'm more of a woman, some days I'm more of a man. Most days I'm just kind of in between all of that. But for Alex, it was a strict thing. Like today I am man, next day I'm woman, blah blah blah. And pronouns changed to reflect that. And that was fascinating to me as someone who, had never even heard the word trans or gender fluid or non-binary or pronoun change until I read this book. And I hate to describe it this way on TV, but, it really was this kind of moment of, oh, shit, that me. Oh, shit, that me! Ah!
You're not alone.
Spend the next 5 years in a massive gender crisis, and half of that, 4.5, and the next half of that fifth year, trying to figure out what to call myself. I went with a really bad name at first. That was a bit culturally appropriating, and I apologize on social media and stuff for that at high school, and then about. Actually, almost to the day last year, I came up with the name Quincy, and here we are.
Nice. Well, I like that name.
Yeah.
So, let me...
I do too, that's why I picked it.
Well, I mean, so, you, at the age of 13...
12, 13, somewhere
13,
in there, yeah.
somewhere in there. And who was the first person that you confided in?
My friend Sandy in junior year of high school.
Okay.
We were at the homecoming dance, and I had just been kind of having that real burst in that moment. I was just like, hey, so I'm thinking I might be this, and she was like, oh, okay, cool. If you're like that, I'll support you 100% and everything. And then a couple months later, December 15th, I actually marked that because I wanted to remember. December 15th, I called her on my way to the bus stop, and I was like, dude, I just can't really do this anymore. I've got to come out and everything. And she was like, sure, I support you 100%. How many people do you want me to tell? And I'm like, I'll tell people myself. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I lost contact with her after we graduated, but I miss her a lot. She really helped. She helped me far more than she probably knows.
And was she a student also? Your
same
age?
Yeah,
okay.
she was in the same year as me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then you went through basically junior high and high school, already knowing who you were.
I went through middle school just kind of going through the motions really, and trying to figure out who I'm just trying to figure out who I was in the middle of a whole bunch of horrific bullying and sexual harassment that I had to deal with in middle school, which was not normal in any way, shape, or form. I was in ROTC in high school, so I had, which to be fair was by my own choice. I went with that because PE credit, and my mom had fun with it in high school. Why wouldn't I? Fortunately, it was this rigid thing of conformity and of everything has to be this way, and you have to do these specific things this specific way because you are a girl or something like that. And I feel like even if I wasn't trans, that would have still irked me. But
Well, so you dealt with bullying. People bullied you.
Yeah, especially in elementary school.
Because you just wanted to
growing
be
up,
you.
I didn't start dressing like this until after I graduated, really. But growing up with the kind of mindset and with the kind of upbringing I really had, going into school with that, and also having really, really bad task paralysis, just made a perfect storm for everything to just go wrong and people to hate me, and I've been trying to go to therapy to work through a lot of it, but in case you haven't noticed, mental health help in Texas is really hard to get.
Really? It's good to have.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's good to have,
especially if you're trans. Like,
yeah, because basically, kids, you're not alone. Mm-hmm. You know, there's other people just like you, so you're not alone. So don't feel like you're alone. You're not. Yeah. So, did you ever have any of the administrators at your schools? Were they?
Oh, girl.
I mean, did they support you, or did they make things harder for you?
Oh, good God. Oh, the people at Hutto High tried. They tried. Some of them tried. One other one did not try. In fact, one of them, her son was trans actually, and after he came out to her, and it came out that she was. I'm not going to get into it on camera, obviously, but
well, we don't want to mention any names. But.
Of course, but she was horrific to him and everything,
yeah.
and when I started calling it out and everything, she literally pulled me into her office to like explain to me that her son was lying actually, and that she is just doing all of this for attention and blah 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 blah. With the school resource officer literally like closing the door behind me, like it was freaky.
Yeah.
And like nobody ended up doing anything about it. I tried to write to the school board, but I never heard anything back. It was, and within a week, her son was just out of school. You know, or out of the school, so away from all of his friends, and I still talk to him every now and again, but he's not allowed to tell me what happened. You know, it was awful. But you want to know what the funniest thing that resource officer told me one day? This is true. I promise it's true. But she literally the day after all that happened, she came up to me and talked to me and tried to like talk me down from doing stuff and whatever. And I was like, yeah, sure, fine. You know, nod your head. Yes, officer, of course. Nah, nah, nah. She literally told me to my face, straight-laced Southern smile. Now, you do know, slapping your kid when they're out of line isn't abuse. So, my one question for that would be, who in the hell are you to make that distinction, first of all? Second of all, yes it is. Shut up. But, yeah.
Well, did you have any administrator at the school that was on your side or was understanding?
My counselor really, really tried, but she kept on trying to go like they is, which no, it's they are. It's they is singular, guys. It's fine. Seriously.
So, explain to us.
My teachers were really cool though.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Go on. Okay. Sorry.
It's okay. Explain to us the they and the them.
Sure.
And
pronoun talk. Let's go.
When it should be used, when it shouldn't be used, how it should be used.
Of course. So, pronoun talk. Let's go.
And remember you got to explain it to people like
me.
Yeah.
I got you.
7th grade education, you know.
Of course. So, they them. You use it every day, right? I walk down the street, I find somebody's wallet, hand it into the lost and found people, and it's like, I hope it gets back to them, because you don't know whose gender, what gender it is, or you're walking in the bar and you see someone who's really cute, and you're like, oh, who are they? They're cute, something like that, because you don't know who they are, and no matter what, you're gonna have a good time anyways.
Right.
So,
right.
So the point is. So you do, but the thing is, you do know my gender. I'm non-binary. I use they/them pronouns. So if someone asks you to use they/them, that's what you should do. In the same way that you would use it if you didn't know, because they is singular. You can refer. It's not just a plural thing. Now, one way that actually helped me when I first heard about they them pronouns was to think about it. Was to try flipping the way I thought about it. Like when I first thought about they them, I thought I was referring to both a man and a woman at the same time, so as not to confuse anything. But it turns out that just makes everything more confusing. It's literally, you are not referring to two people at the same time. You're referring to one person as one person. There you go.
Is there one word that can be used instead of they or them? Is there another word?
Absolutely. Of course, like I say, if someone asks you to use they them, that's what you should use. No questions asked. That's their pronouns. Use them accordingly. You wouldn't walk up to a dude and call him she unless you're being a dick. So
Right.
So there's also people who use it's, like it is having a drink. It is this is its drink or something like that. A lot of people hate that because obviously there's that whole connotation in English of objectification and dehumanization, and for like 90% of people that's a no-go. But if someone literally asks you, hey, my pronouns are it's, please use these pronouns for me, then that's what you should do.
Okay.
Now, there's also a thing called neopronouns, where someone might say, hey, my pronouns are fey, fair, or zay, zem, or any number of other combination of words. You will often find those at the intersection between trans people and neurodivergency, particularly autism. But but no matter who uses it, it's still valid. You should still use it either way. Neopronouns can be a little more confusing than everything else, but often when you meet someone like that, they will understand and they'll just explain how to use them correctly. So.
We had a question from the audience or from someone on Facebook.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so the question is, sorry, I have to read it off the thing. So what do you do if they call you by the way they see you? Do you correct them without embarrassing you and them? So
Right.
How do you go about that?
Yeah. With corrections, it's really easy. Like if you call me, it literally happened earlier. Like he called me she, I was like they, and he immediately corrected, continued as normal. That's all that you have to do. If someone misgenders someone else, you say, hey, it's they, or something like that. They correct and move forward. Don't make a scene. Don't make a big deal out of it. Because the thing that I really want everyone to understand here is that, yes, pronouns are important, and it is important to respect people's identities and respect who we are. But in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of trans people existing, it's really just not that big a deal. Like, you can do that wrong and correct yourself and move forward, and everything will be fine. We might be a little sad, we might have a little moment, but later. But when we're in public and it wasn't intentional, and we know you didn't mean anything by it, then it's just not that big a deal. We're not going to get that too terribly mad about it, unless it's like a deliberate thing, or this is like a consistent pattern of behavior that you've made no attempt to correct. As long as you're listening and as long as you're trying, we appreciate it, and you're fine, really.
Cool. If you guys,
I hope that answered your question. Thank you.
if you guys, we want to go a little bit longer, just a few minutes. So if you're watching on YouTube, or you can also go to my website, thebigdaddyg.com. And keep watching the show. We're also going to be, Tyrone, are we on Facebook or YouTube or anything else right now? We'll get an answer in a second.
Meow.
Sorry, yes, you are. You're on YouTube and Facebook. We just got off a cable broadcast just now.
Okay, so we're still on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, so let's see. Are you dating anybody right now?
Nah.
No?
I've dated like 2 people in my entire life, and it didn't work out.
Okay.
Why do you ask?
Well, just questions.
Okay.
Tell us about your average day. Like, what is Quincy's average day? Like, what time do you wake up? What do you normally do?
Pretty much the same as really anybody else. I wake up either entirely too early or entirely too late, depending on the time of year. I either go directly back to sleep, or I go to college for film. When I'm not doing that, I'll be playing video games, watching YouTube, or working on whatever crazy art project I have, like one of my vests or some of the random bracelets I have, or some of my paintings. You know, any sort of other random crap that finds my interest today.
Okay.
I'm just kind of a.
What,
I'm honestly kind of boring sometimes. Honestly.
What do you like? What time do you eat breakfast? And what do you normally eat for breakfast?
That's funny. I almost never eat breakfast.
Okay. What about lunch? What time do you normally eat lunch? And
Probably like 2 or something. I don't know.
what do you what is like your favorite food at home that you eat?
Leftovers from taco night, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was like, I want to say 4 or 5, I was playing around with my little plushy Goofy doll in the living room. I dropped him right behind the coffee table. The coffee table here, the wooden couch over here, and the recliner over there. I dive in and smack my mouth right on one of my like little teeth over here, and it's just blood everywhere.
Wow.
And I had to get like a silver tooth put in, and for like an entire summer, I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat any like solid food. So after about a month of just eating nothing but like chicken soup, and one time me getting sick and my mom putting like freaking tutti frutti medicine in my chicken soup, and it tasted terrible.
Well,
I'm never forgiving you for that. I hope you know.
She tried.
You tried, but it was terrible.
But it was terrible.
I love you, Mom.
And what's your favorite, what do you eat for dinner? What's your favorite?
I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
So me and my mom are driving down the highway, and I'm like, hey, we could go to Freebirds. Let's eat Freebirds. And she's like, no, honey, your teeth can't handle that. And I'm like, but what if they took the beans and they mashed them up, and they took the meat and they like cut it up really, really fine, so I wouldn't have to chew anything. She was like, oh, hey, that's not a bad idea. So we go to Freebirds.
Yeah.
And she explains the deal, and the lady at the counter, who happened to be the manager, looked at me like, honey, what have you been eating for the last month? And I look at her with the biggest puppy eyes anyone ever gave, like, chicken noodle soup.
Oh.
And she was like, oh, honey, you need some Freebirds. And for like the next year and a half, we ate at Freebirds almost every day.
Nice.
And to this day, taking refried beans and leftover taco meat and putting it together with some cheese and sour cream is literally like one of my biggest comfort foods. So there you go.
And do you have any pets?
Yeah, we got 2 little kitties named Kronos and Astro.
Oh, nice.
They're both jerks, but you know, they're cats. What do you expect?
Nice.
Someone had a question I just wanted to ask.
Sure.
Okay.
They said, how can we follow Quincy, I guess on social media or something?
Oh, sure. I'm at Magic Rainbow Kitties. Also, I know. At Magic Rainbow Kitties. No caps, no spaces, all spelled correctly. On, I think, Instagram. Unless there's an E on Instagram, I don't remember, honestly. It's been it's been too long, and I don't really have it, and I am not super terribly active on it. I guess I'm Magic Rainbow K, capital K on Twitter now, or is it X now? Did that go through?
I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever Twitter is right now. Mm-hmm. And I also don't use it terribly often, but, Overlord Elon Musk or something like that. I don't know. What else do I have? I'm also Magic Rainbow Kitties on Reddit, I guess. I don't know. And on YouTube, I suppose, but I'm not terribly active on non-privated social media. Like I use Discord mostly, but you don't give out your Discord to random people.
So, one last question: what advice would you give a 12 or 13-year-old that is going through the same thing that you went through? What advice would you give them to make their lives easier and make them understand that their life is worth living?
Oh, absolutely. I know you hear a lot the 3 big things, like you are loved, you are wanted, you are worthy, stuff like that. That's all true. But I know that's not really what's going to help right now. And what's really not going to help is it gets better. That's sure. Knowing that things are going to get better can help, but it's not really what you want to hear right now. What I wish someone had told me, and what I really, really want people to hear now, is that you can make it better. You can sit here and you can twiddle your thumbs and everything, but you can sit here and you can realize that some of this isn't your fault. Some people are jerks just because they're jerks. Some people are going to get you down just because they want to get you down. Some systems are specifically designed to keep people like you down. But you are an autonomous human being who is allowed to fight back. You are allowed to live your life, and you are allowed to be happy. You can make it better because nobody else is going to. That's kind of what I wish someone had told me.
Awesome. Well, kids, you heard from Quincy. Quincy told you, some of you are asking, why were you asking Quincy about grandma and grandpa and mom and dad and brother? And the reason I was asking those questions was because I wanted you guys to understand that Quincy is just another human being on this planet that's trying to be happy. And it's your job as another human being on this planet to help Quincy be happy. You can either be a good person or you can be a bad person. So the good person would help Quincy be happy so that she can do, or they can do whatever they want.
See, it's that easy.
Whatever they want, with their lives. So help, Don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. Mm-hmm. If you have any other questions about this subject, I guarantee you there are websites out there, that'll give you
the best places to go are, of course, the CDC website for gender affirming care and everything, which, in case you haven't noticed in the news and everywhere else, is under attack all across the country, and especially in the state of Texas and Florida. If you want to know what gender affirming care actually looks like, and not like the weird propagandized version of like mutilation and everything, please go check that out. There's also the National Center for Transgender Equality that has a comprehensive list of a lot of what we've talked about today, as well as other resources for people who might be struggling, and for any other questions you might have. They do amazing work, and they really are a very good comprehensive source.
Nice. So there you go. I want to thank all of y'all for joining us and spending some time with us, and hopefully some of you got educated. Some of you understand now that, again, Quincy is just another human being on the planet. So let's help Quincy be happy. So that's it, kids, for tonight. One last thing is my son Jeremy and his fiancee Donna are coming in from Dubai to get married. So I'm really excited about that.
Congratulations to them.
I love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for having me,
So-
G. Trans rights are human rights!
There you go. Peace.